The infighting between House Republicans is getting even uglier. Today, Florida Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz took to the House floor. He repeated his threat to try to oust Kevin McCarthy from the speakership after McCarthy made that deal with Democrats last Saturday to avoid the government shutdown.
It is going to be difficult for my Republican friends to keep calling President Biden feeble while he continues to take Speaker McCarthy's lunch money in every negotiation. So for all the crocodile tears about what may happen later this week about a motion to vacate, working with the Democrats is a yellow brick road that has been paved by Speaker McCarthy.
Matt Gaetz, never metaphor he didn't like. Joining us now, New York Republican Congressman Mike Lawler of New York. Congressman, good to see you. What are you hearing from your Republican colleagues today? You've called Gaetz's reasoning a diatribe of delusional thinking. You have called him a charlatan. Obviously, your respect for Matt Gaetz knows bounds. What are you hearing from your colleagues?
Well, I think there's a broad consensus within the conference that what he is doing is destructive, that it undermines the work that we were elected to do. The American people elected a House Republican majority to govern and to serve as a check and balance on the Biden agenda. There is no disagreement within the conference about the need to cut spending, about the need to change course when it comes to policy. And there's no disagreement about the need to do single subject appropriations bills. And in fact, we have been doing that work. House Republicans have passed 4 of the 12 bills, which account for roughly 70% of discretionary spending. Senate Democrats have passed exactly 0. So we are doing the work. This will be a major distraction from that work. Obviously, we extended government funding by 45 days so that we could complete this important work on behalf of the American people and fight for border security. I would remind everybody that the reason that we couldn't do that in this CR was because of Matt Gaetz and some of my colleagues that voted against the conservative CR that the Speaker put forth that would have cut spending by 8% and would have enacted H.R. 2 to help secure our border. You can't negotiate with the Senate and the White House if you don't have a bill passed, which we saw during the debt ceiling negotiations. Because we were able to pass Limit, Save, Grow and get that through the House, Chuck Schumer was sidelined because he couldn't pass anything through the Senate, and we were able to negotiate with the president.
So what Congressman Gaetz said to me, I said if you had voted for the bill that Speaker McCarthy put forward on Friday, which was the lower spending bill, that would have gone to the Senate. The Senate would have rejected it but passed their own bill, and then there would have been a conference committee and Republicans would have been in a stronger position. There would have been less spending in whatever came out of that committee, and then that would have gone to Biden, et cetera. He said that's not what would have happened. There hasn't been a conference committee on a continuing resolution since the 90s. The Senate would have just jammed the House with a bill, and then that would have gone to Biden, blah, blah, blah. Was he right?
That's almost what happened because of his irrational behavior. We were able to pass a clean CR with disaster relief, and we will work on the issue of Ukraine and border security down the road precisely because he would not support a CR that had spending cuts and border security. Whether there was a conference committee or not, the reality is the Speaker would have been in a position to negotiate with Senator Schumer, with the White House, over a short-term spending gap measure. Because Matt undermined that process, there was only one choice, which was to keep the American government open and funded so as not to harm the American people or worsen a already fragile economy. Because Bidenomics has failed so miserably.
So on the
that
House,
is his fault, not the Speaker's.
So on the House floor today, Gaetz accused Speaker McCarthy, and also on my show yesterday, Gaetz accused Speaker McCarthy of making a secret deal with President Biden on this aid for Ukraine. McCarthy denies that, although President Biden did say there was some sort of deal when it comes to Ukraine. I'm not really sure what the president's talking about, but there is the bigger issue here is that there is no money for Ukraine in the spending bill that passed Saturday. I believe that you support further aid for Ukraine. What's going to happen? What should Congress do?
Well, listen, I was not willing to shut down the American government over foreign aid. To me, that would be unacceptable. I do support the spending in Ukraine to support their efforts and to beat back Russian aggression. Russia is in an unholy alliance with China, North Korea, and Iran, and it's a threat to the United States economy and our national security. So we need to combat that malign influence of Russia. But that is going to have to be negotiated. There's no secret deal. There's no side deal. It's a reality. The President and the Senate are pushing for more funding in Ukraine. A majority of members in the House support funding in Ukraine. So it's a reality that we have to deal with. The question is, will we get border security for the American people? Will we get spending cuts on behalf of the American people to right-size a bloated and out-of-control federal government? That is what is going on here. So for Matt to say, oh, this is some secret deal, wake up, dude. I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous, and it's just him trying to latch on to something else to create chaos and try to use as a vehicle to remove the Speaker. I would note, Matt Gaetz refers to the Speaker breaking promises, the Speaker breaking the rules. The only person who has broken the Republican conference rules is Matt Gaetz. He voted against the majority of the majority when it came to our choice for Speaker. He voted to take down rules on the House floor. And now, despite the fact that our conference rules require a majority of the majority to bring a motion to vacate, he's threatening to do it himself. So Matt has been a singular destructive force within the conference, and the American people should understand that what he is doing is not conservative. It is not conservative republicanism. He is a charlatan, and I stand by that.
Republican Congressman Mike Lawler of the Empire State, New York. Good to see you, sir. Thanks so much.